Hey everybody, today we're going to be talking about the math that makes money. I'm literally going to show you today the math that you really need to understand. This is going to be this is the equation that's really going to help you scale. And more importantly, not just a simple equation. This is not LTV divided by CAC. This is not contribution margin. This is not MER or ROAS or any of that other nonsense. And no, for those of you sneaking ahead, this is also not PSM. This is an application of understanding how to make a higher volume of profit. I want to show you how to 3x your take home in the next 90 days. I want to show you how you can do that with actually getting a worse CPA the entire time. And I'm going to show you exactly how to know how much more money you can spend on your ads right now, even if they get worse, even if everything looks bad. We're going to put more money in your bank account, and we're going to stop listening to the people that sell creative, that tell you to run cost caps, and the folks that legitimately don't give a damn about you and are doing everything possible to find another way to separate you from their money, because ultimately they're not good enough at running their services to help you succeed. We're going to help you be independent today. We're going to help you be successful today. I'm going to share my screen and walk through everything, as well as take all of your questions today during the live. That all being said, down on the bottom, comment 500 for the link. We are doing a $500 off on Disruptor School Inner Circle. It has been blowing up. Why not help people see more success? We have a 3-month plan going right now, and you get $500 off of that. You have 90 days to Black Friday. This is every bit of help you need. Legitimately, it is profitable if you can get like $30, $40 a day extra in sales. If you think having me work with you and having full access to every masterclass in Disruptor School and getting one-on-one time or group class time and support with me, if you think that can help you earn $40, $50 more a day, then you lose money by not joining. So comment 500 if you want to get that link. Also, for those of you that are on our email list, this blasted out earlier today, but I really just wanted to bring that up because it is massive. Also, one other thing before we get started, if you want to have applied to Disruptor Agency, the link is down here. It's disruptorschool.com/DA_apply. If you want more details on that, also comment. But that'll help me and my team work with you and your brand to scale your business and ultimately get it stable enough while educating you along the way that you won't need us. So all that being said, let's dive into it today. If you have questions, ask them in the comments. Super chats get bumped up to the first. Okay, let's get going. Awesome. So we're going to pull this up. Boom. So this is the table that we're going to need you to see. All right. Now, for those in Disruptor School, you'll get a copy of all of this. And the MBA program folks, they already have all of this stuff. So we're going to walk through this right now. Now, this is a volume and margin table. This is going to change everything about how you look at your business. So what is my allowable margin at specific volumes? You've been lied to say any sale I can get at a CPA of X is good enough for me. That's only true if nobody ever buys organically, nobody ever buys the second time, and if you're already at max peak margin per transaction. The honest truth is none of those things are true. And the more you're doing to push down the Facebook CPA, you're not actually changing your blended CPA. Often you're going to make it higher because you're going to help Facebook take more credit for other sales like channels like email and by search. And what that's ultimately doing is like every brand that has come into Disruptor Agency, to Inner Circle, and the MBA program in the last 45 days has said the same exact thing. We ran on cost controls. We ran on contribution margin. We promoted everything that we possibly could and launched 1 million ads to try to support it. And our margin got better and better as our actual volume of profit got worse and worse and worse. And I ended up having to fire the agency that I hired. And overwhelmingly, it's like 3 or 4 agencies that represent 90% of the people that are coming in. So let's debunk all of their stuff. And one of the people that runs those agencies is very often showing overhead graphs of all sorts of things that don't actually apply in reality to the entire world, but helps him sell his specific service. Hi, Charley. Helps him sell his specific service. Okay, you ready? Come here. And we are going to debunk that. This is how we're going to make it so that you don't need anybody else. You're going to have confidence in what you want to do to make this even further. Hey, come on into Disruptor School Inner Circle or the agency, and we will help you get there. Or just join the MBA program, get full access to everything for life. Now, this table is going to debunk everything you've been told. I'm going to throw in some example numbers. Let's say in August you made 100 sales. Let's say that AOV is, let's say, 80 bucks. And let's say we've been told that the profit margin we need is, let's call it 4. All right, so COGS, OPEX, all this stuff. We ultimately need our actual ad spend to come in at a 4 at 4. There we go. Girl. So let's say what we needed here was a 4x. And I'm doing this just to prove an example. You can put in any number into this situation, okay? So what that ultimately means is out of the volume of transactions and everything else, we're basically sitting at about a 6K profit. Okay. Now, you might say, well, as long as I can get more sales at 20, keep going. But you're running cost caps, so your volume is going to drop down. Your costs are adding up. What if we actually want to get more profit? What if we can drive let's keep the AOV the same. And what we're going to do is, let's say we actually drive a higher volume of transactions. Let's say we go from 100 to 150. What if in this example, we're willing to get a 3.5 margin? We went from 6,000 profit to 8,500. Our allowable CPA went from $20 to nearly 23. Let's say in October, we can do another, let's say 50 sales. Okay, so let's do 200. We're going to keep the AOV the same here. Awesome. And now let's say, what if we don't even need to get to a 3.5 anymore? What if 3 is okay? Wow, we're now making over $10,500. Now, our blended CPA went from a 20 to a 26. Oh my God, the world's ending, but we're making way more money. I want you to start to really understand that profit margin and profit volume are very different things. This is objectively worse on a contribution margin basis. And you're making way more money. Contribution margin is a nice number, but the application of it for your marketing is complete bullshit. Okay. Girl. Okay. Charlie, you can't keep unplugging my microphone, okay? All right. So, contribution margin is complete nonsense. You've been told all of the wrong things by people that legitimately don't care about you and are trying to sell you a service, because the sales pitch is, we can spend every penny possible below this number and we'll scale your business. The real answer is, get me twice as many sales and you can spend this much. Now, I said this is how to 3x your business, 300% growth in 3 months. Okay. What does it look like at 3x growth? Let's do 300 sales, all right? And we're going to do an AOV here of 80. We're not even pushing, upsells and all of these other cart hacks. What kind of profit margin do we need here to really begin to see something nuts? What if we keep it at a 3? We go from a 6 to a 16. That is over 3x growth. What if it's something like a 2.8? That's still over 3x. We're right around the 3x growth here, right? Now, here's the thing. If we go to 2.5, let's say 2.5, let's say we actually were able to push up this AOV. Let's say it's 95 bucks. Okay, let's say actually, well, it's Black Friday, so we're getting more customers for cheaper, so our margin is actually kind of staying the same. Now we're 19,000. We're legitimately over 300%. Now our blended CPA, our all-in omni-channel CPA went up by over 50%. We went from a $20 CPA to a $31 CPA. Our contribution margin got 50% worse at the CPA level. And we tripled our actual profit in the bank. And for those of you that are like, but Charley, you're not including COGS. Okay, let's do it. Let's call it 25 bucks. All right? Well, when you include COGS, you more than triple the business. Now let's say, oh, well, actually the COGS is a bit higher on this because we have an upsell. Okay. Maybe we're just getting a bit of a gift card in here or something else. Okay. What's the number look like? The point is this. If I'm allowed to get to a CPA of 31 instead of a 20, how much better will my bank account look? Instead of being scared that your CPM is rising or that your CPA is rising, instead of being scared that your Facebook ad account vanity metrics look worse, you could legitimately be excited that your bank account is getting bigger. Now, we can really start to bake in a bunch of stuff here. I'm going to go ahead and hide the COGS because it's just going to be, this is just going to be a distraction. All right. Charley, I got to put this down because I got to type with two hands. Okay, good girl. So, now let's start to really get into some fun, right? So we've already basically said every cost cap mafia ad agency is full of shit. We've already completely debunked the idea that contribution margin is what's holding you back. We've completely debunked the idea that the way to make more money is to push up your AOV. We're doing this here in the month of November, of course, because it's Black Friday. We're pushing higher cost bundles. And so we're able to do that. Let's say we could legitimately double our sales volume here. Let's say our profit margin could be at 2. If we could double the amount of sales from October to November by just spending more money, right, and having a better business and leaning into Black Friday, which you're probably going to be doing, we can have a CPA rise from $26 to $47. Our MER can go from a 4 to a 2, and we will more than triple the amount of money in the bank account. Show me one person saying that what you need to do is run cost caps to everything with a positive contribution margin and launch 1,000 ads that is going to show you the actual real math of how to make money. None of them. Not a single one of them is talking about this. Now, they know that what they're teaching is intellectually dishonest and that it's a big sales funnel to, well, if I can teach you how to do this organically, you're going to join my agency Slack group for whatever X amount of money so that you can pay hundreds of dollars a month to talk to the same people you can talk to for free on Twitter. And then also I run a content agency. So part of my cost cap strategy is that we create ad fatigue. So you're going to need more ads from us. And because your actual volume of profit is going to get worse and worse and worse, as you scale up the business, you're going to be more and more dependent on us to scale your business. So now you're willing to invest in us, maybe managing all the ads. It's a vicious, low integrity funnel of somebody profiting off of destroying your business. And you could just do this. This right here, for what it's worth, this is 3x the volume of profit. Actual money in your bank account. 3 times higher. My margin per dollar spent, you could think of profit margin as ROAS. You can think of it as MER, right? You can think of this as contribution margin. It could be 50% worse. Your blended CPA can go from a 20 to a 47 in this case. Now let's say, for instance, let's be fair. Let's put it back to the AOV. Let's say AOV doesn't change at all. If our CPA goes from a 20 to a 40, we're going to make nearly 3 times as much. If we just get a small boost, 85, let's call it 8. Let's call it 88 in the AOV. Nope. What is it, 92? Let's try 92. There we go. What about 90? Bam. There we go. So if I'm going to add $10 to my AOV, I could add $25 to my blended CPA, and then I'm going to triple the take home in my bank account. CPA is not what's making you money. Blended CPA is not what you're looking at. Your allowable margin is going to change based on volume. Stop starving your volume to protect your margin. That's why your business is stuck. So let's get into a little bit more here. Let's say my allowable, in this case, we like the idea of 45, but let's go to the month. Let's go to this month here. Let's go to September, okay? Let's just start off with September. How do we get from 100 to 150? Okay, let's have that conversation. Let's say my allowable is 2286, right? It's that number. Let's just do this formulaically. It's that number. Now my current blended CPA is that number, okay? So how much more budget could I invest in my Facebook ads at a complete loss and still have the same actual volume of profit? What would be okay? Well, that's a pretty simple equation. It's this, it is this divided by that. Oh, sorry. Let me do this in a simpler way. Actually, what we're going to do is it's going to be 1 minus. There we go. Awesome. 12% more. So with 12% more Facebook ad budget, do I think I can drive 50% more sales? Maybe. Remember, it's not like if I go up by 12%, I'm going to get 12% more sales. Like, we're looking to get a lift here. So what does 12% more on a Facebook level also get us? It also gets us more search volume. It also gets us more email addresses. And while we're doing this, oh, by the way, if we built our business right, we're going to have a higher volume of returning customers. Right? So if we know we've set up that we're selling products that have a high second purchase rate, if we're actually building a business, not trying to be a salesperson at an ad agency whose job is to not get fired, if we're an operator of a business trying to scale the bank account, we are promoting and selling products that are likely to lead to somebody buying a second time. That means our reoccurring revenue, not even reoccurring as an MRR, just the amount of sales we would make every day, even without ads, should go up. If we've been running at 100 sales each month, we should have this number in September going up, right? So it's not just that you're going to be adding more to your Facebook ad budget at 12%. It's also that you could be more aggressive on your emails. It's that you could be pushing more search volume because you're getting stuff there. It's if you've been looking at this and actually spending your time focusing on driving the acquisition of customers who are more likely to pay a second or a third time. Now we're really building a business. Now we're really getting somewhere. Now, what if instead of trying to push everything with a good contribution margin and not giving a damn about AOV, just pushing anything with profit, we actually began to sell some items that had a higher AOV or margin. Let's say we actually began to optimize our creative around the custom conversion event of upsell takers and began to do creative optimization, not around CPA, but around AOV. What if we got 10% higher AOV? Okay. Now we could spend 20% more. And this is assuming a profit margin drops from 4 to 3.5. And this, for those of you who be like, well, I can't afford, I'm not getting that. Okay, make it a 2 and then a 1. Like, let's do that. Let's do that. Okay. Just for the purpose here, we can make it a 2 and then a 1.8 and then call it a 1.6. And then let's call it a 1.5 here. We still tripled the amount of profit in the business. It's just lower scale. I'm trying to be a bit hyperbolic to make it easier to understand. But the point still stands. There you go, girl. Okay. But the point still stands. You are looking at trying to make this number better. This number is not a demarcation of success. This number is your ceiling of how inefficient you can be because you've been focusing on this number and this number. And when you're running cost caps, advantage shopping, performance max, when you're being less aggressive with email stuff, this number is going to continue to go down. And the only way you're going to fix it is by adding more budget. But hey, when you add more budget, this number goes up, so you stop. You are getting in your own way because you've been lied to by people. Everything you know about this stuff is wrong because the people that have taught about it don't care about the growth of your business. There is a vertically integrated product offering funnel that you're getting sucked into. Now, I'm doing this with some brands at scale, all right? Like, I had a conversation with a brand earlier this week, and the numbers look more like this. And like this. This is a Disruptor agency brand accelerator brand that we're working with. These are what the numbers look like. By the way, if you want to join Disruptor agency and have me and my team work on your business so you can see this type of growth, there's the application down below. Check it out if you're interested. I'd love to have a conversation with you. This is the kind of numbers we're looking at. Now, if you notice, what is it going to take to get from September? What's it going to take to get from August to November? Okay. Let's say my allowable is 50. What if I could spend 62, let's call it 61.9, so 62% more budget. Omni-channel. Girl. Because you can't just play with all the power cords, honey. Okay. What would that do for you? What if you could say, well, the last people we were talking to said we need a 20 based on contribution margin. And I say, that's a bunch of hooey. That's a whole bunch of people that actually don't give a shit about your business. Because here's the thing. Not every one of your sales comes from paid media. Not every sale comes from a Facebook ad. You have search. You have email. You have organic marketing. You have word of mouth. You have products that hopefully aren't so bad that some of those people actually want to come back and buy from you again. If you can actually improve the business, you can spend this much more money at a complete loss. If we were to spend this much more money and make 0 more sales, our profit volume would be the same. But instead, we can spend this much more money and 61% increase in your budget to have an allowable difference of 260%. Hi, Charlie. Okay, there you go. If you could get 260% worse at your actual cost per acquisition across your entire business, not just Facebook ads, because remember, attribution is absolute nonsense. If anybody says that they can point to how much it costs to get a sale from any one ad, they are lying to you. That's not a subjective view. That's an objective truth. And if anyone wants to sit down and have a conversation with me, telling me how they can map out the decades-long customer journey that it takes to get somebody to buy and why one ad and one action is predictive of anything else that anybody else is ever going to do, come and convince me. Convince me that you can track trillions of data points going back over someone's entire life and then predict how a machine that you're not in control of, and in fact, dozens of machines you're not in control of, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Google, the algorithm, the organic, the paid social, the organic social, and everything else they do in their life. You're going to be able to control all of that to get two people to behave the same. If you're telling me that that's true, I know that you're 100% full of shit. That's the bottom line. So here's the point. You are looking at all of the wrong metrics to help people whose job it is to not get fired, ultimately look good on a sheet of paper at the expense of the growth of your business. And now I'm going to really twist your noodle a little bit here. We're talking about 3x growth or more in 90 days, right? Now, you might say, well, that's not what's going on. My business grew 30%, 40%, and we're stoked. Okay. What does that actually look like? Let's shake this down to, oh, Charlie, what are you doing, girl? Hold on a second. I know, you were playing. You effed around and you found out. Okay. What does that actually look like? Okay, Charlie, you're going to sit here. There you go. Okay. So let's actually take a look. Let's say you need this margin, right? Because you've sworn up and down. You need that margin. Okay. So your volume is going to look more like this. Okay. That's actually phenomenal there. Cool. Let's do 1125, and let's say you have a great month and you're at like 1,500. No, you're not going to get that. Let's say it's more like, well, that could be okay, but this number is not going to change. You might actually, because it's sales periods, this is actually going to go like this. Okay. Let's make this more realistic. You're starting your sales somewhere in October. Okay. So you're getting your CPA better. Because you're improving. You're running your cost capture, you're doing your creative testing, you're getting your blended CPA to be lower and lower and lower, and you're making a higher volume of sales. It's great. And you're protecting your 4x MER because somebody somewhere told you that that's what's important. And then you look at the bank account and you're like, man, what are you talking about, Charlie? I went from a 60K month to a 73K month. Awesome. What is this growth? This is a 21% growth in 30 days. First off, congratulations. 20% growth is amazing. But it is so much less than you could actually have. Right? So keep in mind, this is 21%. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut this, and we're going to rewind the clock. Instead of favoring the people that don't give a damn about you, we're going to actually run a legit business and scale. Okay. So the first one was 120%, right? 21% growth. Doing it this way, you have 350% growth. What's the difference? Our way versus their way. Our way is nearly 3 times more effective to the actual amount of money in your bank account. Do you understand what I'm saying here? So, like, if you have questions, go ahead and please ask, because we're open for it. And for those that want access to this table and other stuff, this is in Disruptor School. This is in the Facebook Ads MBA program. If you want to join Disruptor School, like I said, we have a discount going right now. Comment 500 and I'll give you the link. You can join for 3 months and you save $500 on it. And it basically means if I can help you make an extra $30 to $40 a day, you profit. Or you can get a 20% growth. Right? This is their way. This is our way. This is how much better our way is. This is how much better your business could actually be. Now, I hope that this is ringing some truths for you. So now we got to talk about, well, how do we get this sales volume to go up? I mean, first off, just to get from August to November, we can afford a CPA that is 262% worse. And we can basically just add nearly 62% budget to our ad account. And if we got 0 sales, our profit volume is going to stay the same. But if we get extra sales, we're going to start making more money. And I know what you're saying. It's like, but we are keeping some things constant here, right? So it's not your margin. It's how much worse your CPA could be. That's one of the things that we want to really look at. This is what we call data science. This is what we call unit economics. This is what we call ignoring vanity metrics and actually building a business. Charlie, did you hit your head? Okay, she'll be all right. So, more baby Charlie. Okay. Charlie, your presence has been requested. Come here. Okay, here we go. Boom, baby Charlie in the house. Okay. This is when I'm telling you that brands, marketers, people that run agencies that say, look at my business, we grew 30% last year. I say if you grew less than 2x, you failed. I legitimately just showed you how to change your run rate by 300% in 90 days. Now, obviously, you're going to have ups and downs. But there's a couple of things that are going into this, right? Part of this is, instead of discounting during Black Friday, which is stupid, you push up your AOV because you're launching bundles, not discounts. You're prioritizing selling products not based on the contribution margin, but based on their second purchase rate. You're prioritizing a volume of transactions in the business. Volume of transactions is directly related to how much you can pay to get a sale and how much profit you get in actual money in your actual bank account. MER and volume of profit have nothing to do with each other. Now, look, if I could say 4x, awesome. Amazing. We went from 60 to 300. That's an unrealistic goal. Here you go. So if I can do a MER of 2 at a CPA of 52, if I get 4,000 sales because I'm allowed to spend nearly 3 times as much money, if I can 4x my sales on over 250% more ad spend, my CPA could be over 200% worse. My MER could be half as much. and the money in my bank account will be exponentially more. What if the AOV was just the same? If the AOV was just the same, we didn't even push anything else. Our profit volume goes from 60K to 160K. What if we get 1% over break even? That's not going to do it. What if we get 50% over break even? Wow. We've almost doubled profits. As a matter of fact, how much worse do we need to be? 30%? 20? 25%? Okay. If we go from a 4x MER to a 1.25, and our CPA goes from a 20 to a 65, if tripling our allowable CPA allows us to quadruple our sales volume, we make more money. And if we can add, say, 20% to our AOV, we actually make 30% more money. Now, if this allowable margin is something closer to, like, let's say it's a 1.5, okay, we've now doubled the amount of profit. Is this starting to make sense? So then the question is, how do we get more sales volume? And right here, we've legitimately said, like, how much more money you can spend. What is your allowable scale, right? This is getting into profitable scaling margin. But also, we're focused on the products that have short cash flow cycles and high second purchase rates. We can focus on being aggressive with email to get volume of sales. Higher Facebook ad spend means we're going to get more sales on Amazon and more sales on Google. And to be fair, if those channels are coming in 3 to 5 times better than Facebook, you're not spending nearly enough. Stop protecting your CPA. That number is what's holding you back from being successful. Blended CPA targets are an output of your marketing, not the beginning of the conversation. Because your contribution margin is a nonsense number that's holding you back when you're looking at growing your business. The reason we can get more sales is because, again, we're able to spend more money. How do we go from 1,000 to 4,000? Well, we allow ourselves to spend 3 times more money because we're improving our AOV by 20% in Black Friday. We're running some sales to higher cost bundles. Okay, that doesn't seem completely unreasonable. But we're allowing our CPA to go from a 20 to a 66. That means we can legitimately raise our budgets 300%. Like that, if we were to raise our budget by 300% and get 0 more sales, our CPA would be around this number. But because we're going to get more sales, we can be this much less efficient at getting that initial transaction, which means we can go after way more sales. You don't have to run your cost caps at a 20 to get you there. Because remember what happens when you do this. If we're going to say, well, we need a 4. Okay, so 4, let's say we hit a 4.1 and a 4.3. Okay, but our volume's not going to be there. No. Our volume's going to be more like, let's say that. Let's say that. And let's say we have a great month and this goes to, let's say we add a bunch. Okay. So at this rate now, mind you, we're also running discounts because that's what the experts told us to do. So this number is not actually this, it's that, and it's this, and then let's go 65. Okay. So we got our blended CPA from a 15 to a 20. Hooray! Our MER went from a 4 to a 4.3. It went up by almost 10%. Amazing! Our sales volume went from 1,000 to 1,250. We're getting 25% more sales every month. Great. What did that actually mean, though, for the bottom line of the business? It means that we actually made 4% more. Is this hitting home? I hope it is. I hope you're understanding why discounting is stupid. Why protecting your CPA and using cost controls is crushing your growth. Why MER has nothing to do with volume of profit. It is about the unit rate allowable to acquire a transaction and what the average order value of that transaction is. And if you can push this up, let's say we push it up by 5%, 5% here. And then we start running sales to try to improve things. So let's say we get an extra 10% boost on 84 is 8.4 on top of that. So it's a 92.5. Let's call it that. And then we get a little bit more of a lift because we're pushing some higher cost bundles. We get up to 100. Because we're still pushing the CPA, and hey, you know, we're happy. We allowed it to go from a 20 to a 23. Look, Charlie, we're leaning and we're allowing it to be 15% worse. Okay, cool. And your business went from 60 to a 95. So you gained percentage-wise, right? Like the overall growth that you're seeing is actually going to be this number is going to be 1 minus. Whoop. Sorry, I'm doing this with a girl in my hand. So it's going to be equals 1 minus. Oh, shoot. Here we go. Hold on a second. Here, 1 minus, boom, boom. There we go. And show me this as a percentage. All right. Doing it your way, we made 37% growth in profits. In volume. Now, this is a combination. This is leverage. Instead of leveraging discounts, we're leveraging bundles, right? So this is step number 1. Okay, girl, I'm going to put you down again, okay? Just don't. Okay, good girl. All right. And here's your fox. There you go, little girl. Boom. Yay. Okay. So we're doing it this way, okay? This is what we're doing. We're saying right now you are stoked that you made it 37%. And really this happened because you were able to push up that AOV. And because you're able to push up that AOV, as long as you're protecting your MER, your CPA goes up by a little bit. Okay, cool. We're happy, right? Everybody in the cost cap mafia world is fucking clapping hands and giving high fives and, you know, like everybody is stoked on life because they got 37% better. And I'm not saying 37% better. Girl, you're okay. You're okay. All right. I'm not saying that 37% better is bad. I think that's good. I just think that that's ultimately, if you do nothing other than adjust your AOV, that should happen. Just in offer construction, you're going to get here. Now, if you begin to actually run a good business and start focusing on, well, what if we actually started to push on volume here? What if, hear me out, what if we allowed ourselves to see a slightly worse? Let's go 10% worse. Okay. Now, if you notice here, look, 66, 10% worse, 35, okay. But we add 10% to the volume. Okay. So with 1,000 here plus 105, so that's going to be what? 155. All right. We're allowing ourselves to have a 10% worse profit margin. And as a result, we're getting 10% more sales. Just straight, this is just straight like linear paid media. We went from a 66,000 to a 70. Let's do it again. Let's allow ourselves to get 10% worse in our business while also doing the AOV thing, okay? Let's allow ourselves to get 10% worse in our business. Let's do 3.2. Okay. But we're going to add 10% volume to this number, right? So let's just do it, make it real easy so nobody thinks that I'm cheating. Plus 0.1 times. Okay. Well, now we're making 80,000. Instead of 76, we're making 80. let's lean in and say, you know what, Charlie, I'm still with you. I'm willing to get still, again, 10% worse. I don't want to go crazy. I don't want to make a lot of money, but let's lean into it just a little bit. Okay. 2.8%, and let's add 10% to this number, okay? So this equals 1270.5 times 0.1 times 1270.5. Okay. Something went wrong here. What's going on? Oh, it's plus, not times. Clearly something was going wrong. Now we're 89,000 in profit. Okay. So doing it this way went from 80,000 to 89,000. We got a pretty nice little bump. You know, like we're looking good. What's how much better? That's basically 50% more money, right? What's this divided by that, right? 49%. So we grew the business by 50% merely by just allowing a lower MER to push this number. But again, if we actually start focusing on growing the business, our numbers could look substantially different. Now, this is on higher volume. So let's just go back to our previous example. Let's just say we can do this. This is our target. Okay. Now we're sitting in a very different situation. Now, instead of a 2x, let's say we were willing to get, instead of 2.8, let's say we're getting a 2. And as a result, we get 300 sales. Do you see what I'm doing here? Instead of being happy with 40, 50% growth, at a bare minimum, we're hitting 250% growth. Again, our way is 2x more profitable than their way. And what happens? Oh man, that blended CPA got substantially worse. And our bank account got substantially better. These are the types of things that you need to look at. These are the things that actually matter. And again, to address it, how do we get this number to go up? You start focusing on the things that actually matter in your business. Number one, you stop running a bunch of creative tests. You want the customers how you know how they're going to behave. If you, instead of launching a bunch of creative tests to push down the CPA, let me know that people are going to get maybe a little bit worse if I add the budget. But if I can spend a little bit more and get a higher bit volume, if I can go from a 20 to a 23, and as a result, I can squeak out an extra 50 sales, not just from paid social, but also knowing that's going to lift paid search. And I'm going to get a few more email addresses. And I'm going to be able to improve my AOV just a little bit. And I'm beginning to treat organic social with any bit of value that it probably should. And I'm starting to promote products that have customers coming back to buying a second time. Because every one of those additional transactions is another opportunity to add more upsells on the AOV. And I'm willing to take a bit of a hit on my MER so I can make more money. These are the things you need to be looking at. These are the types of things that we cover in the Facebook Ads MBA program and Disruptor School Inner Circle. We had a 2-hour-long session today diving into stuff like this. Now, if you want this actual table, this is available in the Disruptor School Inner Circle. You can join today. Comment 500 for the link. And just so you know what that looks like. So normally, you're sitting at $100 7-day trial. And after 7 days, it rolls over to $1,000 a month. I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to hide this for a second. So far, in the last 90 days, 0 people have not rolled over from the 7 to the 1,000. So far, over the last 6 months, 2 people have left the inner circle. One of them did so because we helped them exit their business. 2 founders basically got a business they started a little over 2 years ago. They both now Between the two of them, let's politely put it, their bank account has at least $5 million more in it. Because, oh, by the way, we also have relationships with people that can help you do that kind of thing. And the other person left because they decided to, move in a different direction in their life. They were at an ad agency and realized that they were just not getting paid what they were worth, and they wanted to start their own business, and their own business kind of took off. And to be fair, they're just like, I kind of got everything. I'm going to invest everything that I have into the growth of my business. And mazel tov. Look, like, the goal here is to make you self-sufficient. The average amount of months that somebody is in Disruptor School Inner Circle is over 1.5 years. And that number goes up every single month. Now, normally it's $100, but what we do have, hi, little girl, what we do have right now, and you can see this just in Shop in the School. I think it's in here. Is it hidden? These are all the master classes you can get, by the way. You have unlimited access to all of this material when you come into the Disruptor School Inner Circle. Everything in here you get, except for these 3 courses. Actually, you don't get this one, you don't get this one, but you get everything else. Right now, we have an offer, and I'm actually going to put it up right here just so people can see it. Girl, don't pull that. No, Charlie. This girl is pulling on the back of the microphone cable. Charlie, where are you? No. Oh my God, you got your leg wrapped around it. Okay. Yeah, we've got an offer, and I'm going to drop it here just so that everyone can see it. But these are the types of things that these are the types of things that I'm trying to do to be as helpful to everybody as we can, so that you all can see more success and less stress, which is really what it's all about. And the last thing that I'll say here is just that I hope what we've shown in just the little bit today is how fundamentally different your bank account and your business could look if you begin to focus on the things that actually make a difference in your business. The things that don't make a difference in your business, the things that don't directly translate to more money in your bank account, is things like AR, contribution margin. These things are not the same. These things are not the same as profit volume. By the way, this is the link. You can now get in. We have a 3-month plan, $500 off. Right there, so $2,500 for the next 90 days. You would jump in and have 90 days to profit up to $2,500, which is incredible, especially with everything we've just been showing you. This is legitimately the tip of the iceberg. And if you're interested in me and my team helping you and your team build your business so that ultimately you don't even need us, Disruptor Agency is here. Again, I'll drop this little banner across the bottom. There it is. Disruptor School /DA apply. What I want you to see out of all of this stuff, what I want you to, what do you got over there? Okay. What I want you to realize here very clearly is that the people who are not telling you this stuff are people you probably shouldn't listen to anymore. And the reason they're not telling you this kind of stuff is because it doesn't meet their business model. As altruistic as you might think some people are, and as smart and as high integrity as you think they might be, if your ad agency or guru or mentor sells creative as a service, right? Then odds are they're going to also sell cost controls as a core tenet of their paid media service, because cost caps and advantage shopping create ad fatigue. Giving you a Facebook report that makes you feel better, but not to your bank account, just to your MER, right? Going back to that doctor we had, right? Just to bring it back up here. Whatever. We've shared that enough. If the person that is trying to make your CPA better also sells you creatives, is not the person telling you how to increase the volume of profit in your business, that is somebody that legitimately doesn't give a damn about you or your family or your business. Your bank account is what matters. So this is my appeal to you, to start looking at things differently. And again, this little table that I showed you today, this is one of 1,000 things. It's not even that advanced. Like, this is entry-level stuff in Disruptor School, Inner Circle, and the MBA program. You can now backtrack this to your PSM calculations, your hero offer constructions, your cash flow projections. And you're going to start to realize the single greatest liability to your growth is changing the type of person that comes into your store. Because a different customer is going to behave differently. The likelihood of them coming back and buying a second time is very different. The likelihood of them taking the upsell is very different. What they're going to respond to on email and search is very different. The point is this. I'm going to end on this note. Remember, drop 500 in the comments section, and I'll send you a link if you want it for Disruptor School Inner Circle. Or like, if you can make $30 more a day, it's profitable. If you want 3x growth instead of 30%. And by the way, this is on less work and lower costs of operations, because there's less time spent actually in the Facebook ad account, and your ads don't fatigue. This is a decision you can make. And I'll close with this. The next 90 days can be substantially better than the last 9 months. Next year can be your best year ever. But it means you're going to have to stop treating vanity metrics like contribution margin and MER as having value, when you could start to look at what actually matters. And that is volume of opportunity and the amount of money in your bank account. Get better at putting money in your bank account and your volume of opportunity. Those things are what actually moves the needle. And if you still care about CPA, your potential is going to be far less than it could be, especially if you're using quick hacks and tricks to suppress your CPA in a way that harm overall growth. Now, if you're sitting here an hour in and you're like, Charlie, I've been running cost caps, I've tripled my budget every month, and my business is growing by 500%, and it's happened that way for the last 3 years, awesome. You're 1 in a million. My argument to you is, what if you built your business to grow? How much better could you be? And how much less work and stress and anxiety would you have to get there? And more importantly, by the way, when you want to sell your business, the more hacks you rely on in your marketing, the less likely you are to get paid nearly as much for the business you have. And if you're focused on contribution margin and volume of transactions at the front end, the margin on the transactions at the front end, the multiple you're going to get on your business is far less, because you're not focused on building a cash flow machine. You're relying on being a good salesperson. Good salespeople are infinitely replaceable. There are very few good businesses. You deserve better. You deserve more success and less stress. And to be fair, what I just gave away today is a 10x difference in the output of your business and the growth of your business. 30 to 300% on just this. So you have to ask yourself, what do you want? And if this is the kind of results you're looking for, come find me. I'm more than willing to help you learn how to not need anybody else to get there. You can do it year over year. This is why 310 Nutrition went from 15 to 100. This is why Under Outflow went from 50K a month to 7 million a month. This is how you build 8 and 9 figure businesses. And this is why you aren't going to get there. All right. Well, everybody, with that being said, I love you. Talk to you later. Bye.